This is a stimulus and Social Security update. Got some important updates to share with you. We'll go over this article, the great news about Social Security's historic raise, and stimulus checks in 2023. Biden's tweet created buzz, but will Congress deliver the cash? There is a deadline tomorrow for $200 and $400 checks to claim. The Biden administration has just submitted its brief for Supreme Court to see if student loan forgiveness is actually going to happen. And we are on day 3, 6 votes later for Kevin McCarthy, still not Speaker of the House. I'll give you the latest on that and some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Thursday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So the great news about Social Security's historic 2023 raise. I'll go over exactly what this article is talking about. So starting this month, seniors will receive a historic 8.7% increase in benefits. So let's go over why this is great news. So your benefits could go further than expected in 2023. So the average retiree will receive around $140 more per month thanks to the COLA increase. However, the most recent inflation data has promising news for those on Social Security. It turns out your boost in benefits might go further than you think. So how does COLA stack up against inflation? So basically saying 2022 seniors were burned by inflation. And yeah, if you were on Social Security in 2022, you basically got screwed and felt the squeeze because it was really, really tough. So basically, based on the third quarter inflation data in 2021, seniors received only a 5.9% COLA increase for 2022, but inflation went up to 8 to 9%. So that 5.9% meant nothing, which I think in certain cases like that, there should be some type of new manual adjustment to adjust to inflation because it really hits people on fixed income really hard when inflation goes that high. So the good news is that since COLA was announced in October, inflation has slowed. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the CPIW increased by 7.1% in the 12 months ending in November 2022. Basically, what it's saying here, the good news is that the inflation or the COLA at 8.7% is good because inflation might go down to maybe even 5%, excuse me, or lower. So that's what it's saying here is the great news. Now, the not so good news is that there are other costs involved with it too. So kind of a double-edged sword there. That's basically what the gist of that article. And then stimulus checks in 2023, Biden's tweet created buzz, but will Congress deliver the cash? So President Biden sent out a tweet last week, and it's basically saying, alluding that there could be more cash. So here's the exact tweet right here. So President Biden said, "We've got more work to do, but this year we signed historic legislation to lower costs for working families and seniors, help keep our communities safe from violence, and created good paying jobs across the country. I look forward to more progress in the new year." So basically, based on that, I look forward to more progress in the new year. A lot of people think that there could be stimulus checks for 2023. I don't see how the dots are connecting there, just saying that more progress in the new year. But let me know down in the comments below, does this mean more stimulus checks, or is this just more other types of bills and legislation? Let me know your thoughts on that. So I guess a lot of people ran with that, thinking that there's going to be more stimulus checks. But at this time, there are no official federal stimulus checks, but there are little stimulus checks and rebates and city checks, for example, like this, cashing in final hours to claim monthly direct payments between $200 and $400. See who can apply. So this is going on in Chelsea, Massachusetts, which is giving residents between $200 and $400 a month, depending on income and household size. Basically, it is giving the money to household income that's 30% below the median, the area median, and those could be $200 to $400 checks for the year. So yeah, the deadline, if you live in Chelsea, Massachusetts, the deadline is tomorrow, Friday at 12 p.m., January 6th. And then today, excuse me, sorry about that. Biden administration files its brief with the Supreme Court defending student loan forgiveness. So Biden administration filed a legal brief with the U.S. Supreme Court defending its plan to cancel hundreds of billions of dollars in student debt. The lawyers argued that the legal challenges to the plan were brought by parties that failed to show harm from the policy, and the brief also denied that the Biden administration was overstepping its authority. So brief is mainly legal jargon, and they're presenting this, and we'll see what happens. So, but looking at it in hindsight, excuse me, the student loan forgiveness, just putting it out there and saying what it was going to do, pretty much did what it was supposed to do from a political point of view. If you think about it, they announced it maybe a month before the midterm elections, and a lot of people were excited about it. It looked like it was approved. They even approved people in emails. The only problem is that there was no money to give to the people who were approved. So in terms of student loan forgiveness, regardless of whether it happens or not, it probably fulfilled its political goal for the midterm elections, which I'm just saying from an objective point of view, looking at things. I like to look at things from a neutral perspective, not Democrat, not Republican, and kind of see what the reasoning is behind a political move like this, and especially at the timing right before midterm election. So I have a feeling that the Biden administration knew that there was going to be problems with the Supreme Court. So this could just be part of the process. And whether or not it happens, they pretty much secured the Democrats the Senate control and didn't cause as much damage in the House. So let me know your thoughts on that. And then, speaking of Congress, Groundhog Day again. After the 6th vote, still no Republican House Speaker. So today at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on January 5th, there is another vote for Kevin McCarthy. He's making a lot of behind-the-door deals to do whatever, giving up a lot of power just to get the job of Speaker of the House and replace Nancy Pelosi. At this point, there is no speaker, which means Congress can't fully function. So this is the third day. Yeah, what are we at? Thursday? And, second or third day. And without a functioning Congress, nothing is going to get done. So they really need to figure out what's going on with Speaker of the House. And this is historic. Nothing like this has ever happened. Take a look at this on more details on it.
The House is set to reconvene at midday to try and choose a speaker again. California Republican Kevin McCarthy has failed so far to do that in the last 6 times that they voted. Elon Moy joins us right now. She's got the very latest on this. Do you think we'll see any resolution today, Elon?
Well, Becky, so far Republicans are still deadlocked over who should be Speaker of the House. Lawmakers will gather again in just about 4 hours after narrowly voting to adjourn last night to give these negotiations more time. California Republican Kevin McCarthy, who, as you mentioned, fell short of the votes he needs 6 times over 2 days, told reporters that another round of voting at that point would not have been productive.
I think it's probably best let people work through some more. And I don't think voting tonight does any difference, but I think voting in the future will.
Now, there was some movement last night. McCarthy's leadership pack struck a deal with the conservative Club for Growth to not spend money in open Republican primaries in safe GOP districts. In exchange, the group committed to supporting his bid for Speaker. McCarthy also apparently made some key concessions on House rules. Representative Matt Gaetz, one of his biggest critics, said McCarthy agreed to allow a single member to force a vote to oust him from the job. He also promised to put hardline conservatives on influential committees. But meanwhile, Democrats have tried to steer clear of all of this chaos. They've given no public indication that they're willing to help Republicans at this point. Guys, they say that this is a crisis of Congress that Republicans should own. Becky?
Elon, even after all of these latest concessions, which seem pretty extreme, even with that, if he can't get the 20 votes, is that then like, okay, game over, this is personal, even though they keep saying it's not personal, this is just they're not going to ever vote for Kevin McCarthy?
Yeah, this is the problem, Becky. I mean, I'm not really sure what the path is for McCarthy at this point. I mean, he doesn't need all 20 to vote for him, and it's quite likely that someone like Matt Gaetz will never vote for him. But he can only lose at most 4 Republican lawmakers. So can he get 16? You know, that remains to be seen. His strategy appears to be to try to sort of leverage different divisions within that group of hardline conservatives to see if he can peel off at least a few people. But, you know, a handful is not going to do it. He needs more than a dozen in order to secure the speakership. And really, it is just not clear who the alternative might be at this point. And that's why Republicans just seem stuck in this Groundhog Day loop of voting and voting and voting with no resolution.
What are your thoughts on this, on no Speaker of the House yet, whether Kevin McCarthy or someone else? We're paying Congress a lot of money from our tax dollars, and they're getting paid pretty big salaries, $174,000 a year, and it seems like they can't really get much going for 2023, especially in the House. What are your thoughts on all that? And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Belle's tip of the day, and what I want to tell you is always stay happy. Always be glad for your family, because your family is the ones who made you and made you. So everybody, hope you have a good July 4th. Bye! Now?
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. So yesterday we saw as a family the movie Avatar, the second Avatar. It was amazing. We saw the matinee, so we got like the cheapest tickets, nobody in the theater, so my 4-year-old Kalea could talk as loud as she wanted, asking a bunch of questions. Had to cover her eyes for a few parts towards the end where it got a little violent. But if you're interested in Avatar, the second one, it is really, really good. Maybe just as good as the first one. Pretty crazy how the effects are these days. But anyways, if you want to check out any of my other videos and my other channels, click right up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.